Hey family. Okay, so I just wanted to share a little experiment with you, something that a lot of maybe like middle schoolers do, where we look at the consistency or the viscosity of a subject. Okay, so the reason why this is what I thought would be kind of interesting in the times that we're in to look at is because I'm going to be working with a food product. I'm going to be working with specifically cornstarch. Okay. Now, um, right now, most of our children, most of ourselves are in a new circumstance, right? Where we might even have to be more responsible for what it is that we are eating. Um, and I think that's pretty cool. That's kind of a cool thing, that a lot of us adults have even more influence on what we're providing for our youth to put in their mouths and acquire nutrition so that they can grow to be bigger, brighter, better selves, right? So it's kind of a cool thing in that respect when you think about how much influence we now have with our own loved ones. And so I just thought I would just share this little experiment because this is actually something that can be done at home, really, really easy, and actually with your youth, right? With your children. And I really encourage this because it's kind of fun. Now, the reason why I'm using cornstarch is because it's an easy starch to get. See, starch is the fiber that is within a growing substance. So, for example, like a plant. A plant has fibers along with its water, right? That's inside of it, and a few other components like the chlorophyll. But besides that, there's also what is like a fiber, like the meaty part, like the actual texture of the plant. Just like we humans have muscles, we have muscle fibers. Okay, so the starch, it's called starch after the fiber has been dried all up and the water is all taken out, the chlorophyll is all taken out, the minerals and whatnot, there might be minuscule minerals, but the point is we're just dealing with like the glucose, just the fiber, just the material that's left over after something has passed on all of its water. It's all dried up. So the reason why that's important is because all of our food, all of our food starts off with some type of plant matter, right? Your ketchup might have some tomato in it, hopefully, right? Your mustard was from a seed. Your bread came from a grain, right? I don't know, your spaghetti noodles came from a grain, most likely, unless it was made specifically out of a vegetable, which again has fibers. So our plants have fibers just like we have fibers. And so what is happening when we eat these fibers is what I want to show you. Okay, what I want to show you. And we're going to use cornstarch to be specific. Now, the neat thing about this, and I'm just going to put a little cornstarch in here. I'm not even measuring it. It's not a big deal. But just plain cornstarch. Any cornstarch will do this. And I would actually say any starch will do this. And what I'm going to add to it is water. That's it. Just regular old water. H2O. And we're going to see what happens. Now, the reason why the water is being added and is relevant to us is because of how much water our body is made up of. So, there are different schools of thought. Some would say over 70% even, right? But, at least 70% made of water. That's what one would hope, so that you're not dehydrated and so that the fluids and our minerals can travel throughout our organs, throughout the rest of our body. We just want to make sure that we keep a good level of water inside of our body. Over half of our body is water, even in our cells, everything, water, right? So I've got this water and this cornstarch in this bowl, and I'm just going to kind of mix this around with my hands. Nothing special going on here except for a little mixing, and I'm going to see that things are changing. Now, if you notice, I hope you see, it's kind of, look at that. Look, I've got water, but You know, I'm going to add a little bit more because, look, it's still a little like a pasty, right? It's becoming a paste. It's becoming a paste, but I'm gonna add a little bit more because when we're eating our starches, especially our grains, like for example corn or wheat, or you know, just these other seeds that have to be broken down into a fiber in order for us to eat them. These have the most starch. You know why? Because they actually are seeds. Like they have a little shell that's outside of the germ that protects the inside of the seed, which we call the germ, that turns into life. There's a seed shell that's on the outside, and that's very, very fibrous. It's so fibrous. Usually, what happens in nature is a bird comes and it eats on the seed, just like how we kind of chew on sunflower seeds, right? It eats on the seed though, and it goes through the digestive tract of the bird. Whatever acids are into the digestive tract of the bird before the seed is dropped in the droppings of the bird, and then is able to germinate into a new plant. Isn't that wonderful? The life cycle. Anyway, you know, that all of this fibrous tissue, all of this fiber, this starch that's outside of the seed, it's meant to be there, but it's meant to be there as like a protective mechanism. Maybe not for us humans to eat for nutritional value, right? So, okay, what we're looking at is starch and water. Starch and water, right? And right now it's pretty liquid, right? It's doing its thing, but when we have a good amount of starch, so you saw that it was liquid, right? We're going to add a little bit more starch. You're going to see how it actually turns into a paste. Now, that's one thing, you know, it turns into a paste. You know, flour and water, you know, not a big deal, right? You know, we know that that might make some type of I don't know, paste. Like you see here. But what's really cool, I wish you could feel this, I really encourage you to do this at home, is that it stays wet even though it's going to turn into a solid. Let's see. Okay, so I just need a little more starch. When I can get it into a solid like this is what gets neat. When I can get it into a solid, I'm giving intent, like I'm giving it pressure. And when it feels my pressure, yes, it feels it. When I have contact with it and it has pressure, it turns into a solid. When I, however, now I've got a solid ball here. When I just release it, you see what's happening? It's turning back into a liquid. So you want to ask yourself, is this something that you want in your digestive tract? This is something that you want in your digestive tract. What do you think about nutrition actually getting into the walls of the digestive tract when we've got starch clinging on to the side of it like that? What do we think that or do we have any thoughts about that? This is what we call oobleck, by the way. It's actually got a pretty cool name, oobleck. Yes. So when I apply pressure to it, now you know what could apply pressure to it inside of the digestive tract, even constipation, right? The more oobleck that gets put into the digestive tract without any type of release or detoxification, without pushing it out, might cause even more of a kind of like a plaque in the digestive tract, because we've got this tract that's supposed to go straight down from our esophagus, from our mouth, all the way out to, you know, push it out towards the bottom and the back. But that doesn't happen very well when we've got a whole lot of starch, right? Starch and water that's supposed to be flowing fluidly through our body, only taking in the minerals. You know, minerals have an an electrolysis, like it's got an electricity that's supposed to be transported from the food, from what you put in your mouth, into the digestive tract, And that's supposed to go into, I got a notification on that. It's supposed to go into the body. It's really the minerals. It's really the electricity that we want. But what do you think about the electricity getting through that? What do you think about that? What I don't think that that would be favorable for my body. And it wouldn't be favorable for any of my loved ones either. I might be concerned about them being malnourished even though they're eating and full. Full of what would be my question at this point. So, another thing to think about even with our stress. Our thoughts are quite literally things. Like they create a magnetic force, vibration, waves, which are actually perceived through here. Because see, I don't have to hit very hard. Just any type of pressure on this substance, this what we call like a suspension. Mind you, look, it's liquid here. Whoa! This is the same stuff that I can pick up and literally put in my hand. And now it did that, in the bowl and through the table because there's no pressure, right? But if I apply any type of stress to it, that's a vibration that can be held in the body and cause even more plaque buildup with all of the starch that might be forming up within the body. It's pretty neat, huh? It's pretty neat to have the authority to decide what it is that is going to be inside of our bodies, inside of our family members' bodies, and how much we're going to release when we do eat. Because some starches, are softer than others. For example, like the inside of an apple, right? That might be a little easier to digest than, say, corn. Well, anytime I give a baby corn, it just goes right through, right through there, which is something I don't do anymore. Because I realize that it might not be something that's ever breaking down. And what is breaking down is actually, it's this when you look at it in a bowl. But when it actually goes inside of the body, it's actually receiving a whole lot of pressure because of everything else that's going on in the body. So, for example, like your intentions, your stress, as well as maybe if there is a load up of starch. So, I just want to kind of share with you. I just went through rummaging through someone else's pantry today, and I was looking at this corn mix, which I'm just kind of taking a peek at the ingredients, and it's the make sure I'm still going. Yeah, the more it is inside of what we're looking at here, the sooner they say it. So the first ingredients on the list are what it has the majority of. So I've got white flour. I've got germinated yellow cornmeal. Oh, degerminated yellow cornmeal. Okay, degerminated. That means they took the germ out. That means it's only shell. Okay, let me move on. I've got a cereal here. I just want to read the cereal ingredients, because you know what you eat. So you can look at the ingredients. The ingredients are listed there, and we can have full autonomy here. Whole grain oats, sugar, and cornstarch. It's the third thing on the list, is the cornstarch. That's a cereal. It says, whole grains even, but, is that really ideal? Is that really what we want? And then I'm looking at here, I'm not trying to do a brand name thing, but just to show you, it's like a chicken gravy, and it says maltodextrin and cornstarch. Cornstarch is the very second thing. Take a look at what we've got. Let's make some great decisions while we have the opportunity. This is a great opportunity. This is a great opportunity. This is a great opportunity. Hmm? I think that's all I had to share today. We have this. We've got the talk about what we've got there. So I just wanted to share that with you, that we've got a great opportunity here to really take charge of what it is that we're eating. Maybe even consider some fasting. So reconsider what it is that we look at as food, and really how much of it that we need. Because I can assure you, at least from my experience, that when I reduce my starch and I increase my mineral content with chlorophyll, foods that are green and not starchy, or the least amount of starch. The only way to remove it is by just kind of almost teas. This is the benefit of teas. Okay, so teas. So I would strongly consider fasting in this time, because you'll find that your mineral input, your ability to take in nutrients, allows you to release a lot of the hunger, because you're actually absorbing the food, versus maybe the starch keeping us from absorbing the food. It might be making us hungry even though we're full, but full of what? Right? Where the body is not able to supplement what it needs to and work in a harmony with itself, along with a healthy immune system. And it's able to allow things to pass, including even virus, right? Allowing things to pass. So, a wonderful opportunity for us to really take charge of ourselves, take charge of what it is that we consider food, and even how much of it. This is Evelyn with the television show. Just imagine what what my body can feel like when we're actually eating food, the chlorophyll, the minerals that are gifted to us from the sun, versus starch. Universal love.